Assalamu alaikum, Yusuf Taylor here with another episode of State-Controlled Media. Thanks for the positive reception to our first two series on state-controlled media. In this episode, we'll be talking about the government's plans to push forward with consultations on the regulations and the biggest mistake many have been making regarding them. There has been a lot of support for the Gambia Press Union and the media in opposing the regulations. Personally, I greatly appreciate the support. However, there has been a huge mistake because many have been referring to it as a bill, but it is not. The Broadcasting and Online Content Regulations is not a bill, which will be tabled in Parliament. In fact, as a regulation, all it requires is cabinet approval and gazetting for it to come into law. Now, even if you look at the regulations itself, one of the first texts is telling you that the minister has the authority under Section 226, subsection 1 of the Information and Communications Act to bring forward regulations. But is it appropriate for the minister to bring such legislation as a regulation instead of a bill? So you might be wondering, why is this significant if it's a bill or a regulation? Because these regulations are so significant, they should be brought as an amendment to the Information and Communications Act and not as a regulation. Regulation is left for more trivial things like fees, costs, and things that are just administrative that need to be changed regularly, not something so significant. When the minister tables this as a bill, it will now bring about significant public dialogue. Parliament can debate about this. But the manner in which the minister is going through this, he is bypassing Parliament, effectively taking control of how the media is being regulated on his own, which I feel is too much and goes well above the minister's powers. But there's a new development which I must tell you about today. The government is proceeding, steamrolling ahead with the regulations through consultations. Now, there is even a revised regulation which you can find on PURA's website, together with licensing guidelines and registration of journalist guidelines. These are all on the PURA website. So the government is definitely not listening to the public backlash and going straight ahead with this secretly, in my view, and we'll explain why. When you go to PURA's website, they are claiming that consultations have started since the 1st of April, and it will end on the 10th of April 2026. Firstly, there was no announcement that consultation on the regulations has commenced and that a revised regulation is online. Secondly, 4 days will be lost from this 1st to the 10th because obviously we are on Easter holidays. There is a holiday on Friday and a holiday on Monday. That's 4 days if you consider Saturday and Sunday, which means consultation will be just how many days? Do the maths. And thirdly, the consultation period is so short. Because of this, it almost feels like this is a tick-the-box exercise. So what exactly can you do about it? If you or anybody has raised concern as a civil society advocate, as a civil society organization, as a party, even as an individual, now is the time to send those concerns to legal@pura.gm. That's the email that is on the PURA website. Send your concerns to this. So I've actually sent the Online Media Association of the Gambia and the Gambia Press Union, both issued a position paper and a statement. I'm sending that to the PURA email, and you should send yours too. So right now is the time for your social media posts to be sent to the right authority. Don't just leave it on social media. Send it to legal@pura.gm. Let them know your concerns. So join me and others in sending PURA and the government, Ministry of Information, a very clear message. We oppose state-controlled media. The media regulations and other documents are a non-starter. And if you like our video, kindly support Askan We through our social media links that you're seeing on there. Yusuf Taylor for Askan We Media.